Klefbom and supposedly playing hurt or injured and not rest him. Can you comment on the health of Oscar Klefbom?
Well, he's been healthy enough to play. He went through a bad spell early in the year. He had a treatment that kept him out of the lineup for a while. He's been good now for, I don't know if it's been a month and a half or 2 months since he had that treatment, but it eventually wears off. And, you know, that's where he's at right now.
So it's not, there isn't some procedure that's waiting for Oscar Klefbom that'll fix this problem overall, that'll, you know.
There's well, like anybody that's playing right now on 31 different teams, there are a number of players that need procedures. He could end up being one of them. So we'll see how that goes from now till the end of the year. He's got to make, he'll have to make some personal decisions, and doctors will have to consult with him as well.
Ryan Strome came into the league as a 5th overall pick, and that brings with it some offensive expectations for some people. But he seems to be settling into that third-line responsible penalty-killing guy that can chip in with some offense right now. Is some guys that are drafted high settle into different roles in the NHL?
I think they do, and when you're picked that high, you usually are a dominant offensive point-producing player, regardless of what position, D-man, forward. Ryan was that, and he still has that in his game. It's just that he's not at that level that Connor's producing, or Austin Matthews, or any of those other top 4, 5, 6 picks, and that tends to lead to a negative aura around him. You know, and it happened to us too. We got tricked into that, or not tricked into it. We got drawn into that, and it made us look at him negatively. So we found a spot for him. We gave him different responsibilities, and as a result, he's played better over the last month and a half. He's been productive offensively. He's accepted those roles, and we feel that we have a pretty darn good player.
You've been in search of consistency for your penalty kill in a year. You finally have a run going right now. What would you say that, not that it's completely fixed, but what were the tweaks or the changes that have got you on that run?
Well, we made some systematic changes. We also made some personnel changes. We looked at practice and practiced differently. Meetings were adjusted. You know, we did just about everything you possibly could to that unit, or to that special team, to try and make a difference. Now, you know, the one thing that you can't change is the breaks and the bounces that go off a skate to an open player, as that first goal was the other night against Arizona. I think we've been getting some key saves and some key bounces on our penalty kill where the puck has gone the right direction instead of the wrong direction, where early in the year it wasn't.
Darnell Nurse, what makes a player a first-pairing defenseman as opposed to a 3-4? Is he in that situation where he looks like he could be, over time, a first-pairing defenseman every night?
Oh, he definitely looks like he can become that, and I think he's trending towards that. His learning curve has been very steep and very sharp since he's been here. He's still considered a young defenseman, in my opinion. You know, he has a number of tools that a number 1 or number 2 D-men possess, especially defensively, the size, the ability to move, a tenacity and a toughness that make it hard for top players to play against. He has shown, and he's looking for consistency in this area, the ability to create some offense. So those are some of the elements that number 1 or number 2 guy has.
You guys have 10 wins in overtime. Do you at all, like the fans, get excited when it comes to 3-on-3, especially when you can throw out McDavid, Draisaitl, who have such great chemistry? They scored combined last game against the Islanders. Or is that maybe later on when you're watching video where you can realize?
No, when we get to that point, it's there's an intensity that occurs not only in our building but all the buildings in the league. When you get to 3-on-3, it becomes very exciting. It's been one of the better things I think our league has done. It's opened up the game. You know, when you have a chance to peek up in the stands, everybody seems to be standing or on the edge of their seats, one way or the other. And every team in the league has strengths that they have and weaknesses they have as a team. One of our strengths is overtime and the ability to put that pair on the ice and then come back with another pair now that Nuge is here to counter that. And we have had success. We've also had some success in the shootout. So, but unfortunately for us, that's the 5-minute game. It's the 60-minute game that we'd like to win in regulation, or you know, and win more often. That's where we've got to fix things.
If what they say is true, that sometimes you lose, you learn more from losing than winning. What would a veteran coach have learned this year? Do you keep a book on some things that this season might have taught you that you can take forward? Well,
the year isn't over yet, so that's probably a much easier question to answer. We've still got 1/5 of a season in front of us, so let's throw that at me in 16 games. There, I just destroyed your article, didn't I? Yeah, probably. I got a feeling it's 3/4 written already.